We got our first mock draft video of the season, and we cannot wait for NFL football to start up. We're about 46 days away until kickoff, and it cannot come soon enough. I cannot wait to sit on my couch and watch football for 12 hours straight. Gosh, I miss it. Stressing out over fantasy lineups and all that good stuff. So if you're like me, you're already gathering information, preparing for your drafts. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton. It'll help you out so you know when new videos like this go live. 12-team full PPR snake draft. We got no kicker, double flex, so let's get right into this thing. I think the plan is going to be go double running backs in the first and second round, but depending on how things play out, we might change the strat as we go. So let's get right into this and see what we can do here. Running back, wide receiver. Look, oh, Justin Jefferson, first wide receiver off the board. Very interesting position to be in with Cooper Kupp available. I'm gonna go with Cooper Kupp here. You know, if let's say Derrick Henry was available, or which I don't think he would make it down to the 6, but you never know. Or, you know, Austin Eckler, I'd be more willing to go towards one of those guys, but that's not the case here, and Cooper Kupp is available. Getting him at the 6th pick in the first. I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp. There goes Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Swift. Swift going in the first round. Running backs are flying off the board, and it's back to us. We got Alvin Kamara and Aaron Jones that I'm looking at here, and we don't know what's going on with Alvin Kamara right now. So right now, he's in between a court case for domestic violence that happened at the Pro Bowl last year. So the NFL hasn't announced any kind of suspension or anything, and he has a court date August 1st. So I kind of feel like that's what the NFL are waiting for to make their call on what they're going to do. You know, whether he's, you know, what was rumored was 6 games. So we're just going to play it as if he is going to get suspended and not be available for the first few weeks of the season, and go with Aaron Jones here, who has a great opportunity with Devontae Adams not there. I expect Aaron Rodgers to be throwing the ball a ton to Aaron Jones. He's going to be lining up as a wide receiver, so I definitely like Aaron Jones, especially in full PPR. He is going to be a PPR monster. I definitely believe that. It comes back to us. We're going to go with another running back here. Like I said in the beginning, we're going to go for double running back, wide receiver. But with Cooper Kupp available, we grabbed the receiver in the first round. So we definitely want to get another solid running back that we know is going to be on the field getting the bulk of the reps. And we're going to go with James Conner. James Conner is always on the field in the red zone, and 9 times out of 10 they're giving him the ball. He had 18 touchdowns last season, which was crazy. Don't expect him to do that again, but I love running backs that are on the field when the team is in the red zone. So I really like James Conner this season. So now it's back to me. We're gonna go for a wide receiver here. We got DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman available that I'm looking at. Honestly, DK Metcalf, I think I'm just going to stay away from all Seattle receivers, especially receivers. You don't know what's going on at the quarterback position with the Seahawks. You know, is it going to be Geno Smith? Is it going to be Drew Lock? Is it going to be Jimmy Garoppolo? Are they going to go out and grab him? So there's really too much unknown there for me to project DK Metcalf to, you know, finish as a top 15 wide receiver, which is what you would hope for at this point in the draft. So I'm looking, and I think I'm going to go with Michael Pittman with Matt Ryan throwing the ball to him. We've seen Matt Ryan with Calvin Ridley, who was a fantasy monster, Julio Jones, fantasy monster. So I'm hoping that Matt Ryan goes to the Colts and is the same for Michael Pittman as he was with Julio and Calvin Ridley. Now it's back to me. We got Mike Williams and Marquise Hollywood Brown. or Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, they said there's a chance that he's going to be ready to start the season. That's not what, you know, at first, that's not what everyone thought. Everyone thought that he would miss, a good chunk of the season. You know, he's coming off an ACL tear that happened, I think, week 15. So I think I'm going to stay away from him. It's between Mike Williams and Hollywood Brown. I think I'm going to go with Hollywood Brown. He has a great opportunity with Hopkins not in the lineup for the first 6 weeks, being suspended. I think they're going to lean on Hollywood Brown, and he's going to be relevant, especially for the first 6 weeks. And at the draft, you want to draft with, you want to draft for the first few weeks. It's, there's a couple guys out here like Hopkins that it's like, yeah, you could go and you could try to draft them. Let's say you want them really bad and you want to draft them in the 5th or 6th round. Well, there's a potential that hurts you because you're making the sacrifice to draft him instead of drafting someone that's going to be able to do something for your team right away. So I do like Hollywood Brown. Looking at what's available, I think we're going to go with wide receiver again. And let's go. We got Darnell Mooney. I really like Darnell Mooney with Justin Fields. We seen him last season. He kind of had his breakout season last year, had over 1,000 yards. So I really like the outlook for him. Such a young team, and they're going to grow together. So I really like the outlook for Darnell Mooney this season. Back to me. Let's see what's going on our roster. Okay, we have pretty much all. We got all the flexes filled and receivers and running backs. Let's check out what's going on at the tight end position. Nothing really there that's standing out to me that's worth grabbing at this point. Let's check out some running backs that are available. Same thing. There's not really anyone that's really calling out to me. So we're gonna go back to the wide receiver position, and we got Juju with Patrick Mahomes, which we've seen Patrick Mahomes. He's been able to bring a lot of receivers to life with how good he is. He makes other players better and vice versa. And we've seen Juju be of top 10, 15, maybe 20 wide receiver. So I really like the outlook, getting him in the 7th round. Who knows if he's going to be the focus on this offense. They obviously still have Travis Kelce, who's probably going to take up a lot of the target share, but a wide receiver on this team has to step up and do something, and I think Juju has a good potential to be that player. Now, coming back to me, we're in the 8th round, so let's check out. I do like Tony Pollard. I really like the outlook for him. With Amari Cooper out of the picture, Michael Gallup is probably not going to be ready to start the season. That's not 100% sure yet, but it's kind of looking that way. I expect them to have Zeke and Tony Pollard on the field a lot together, and Tony Pollard used in the passing game more so. So I really like Tony Pollard, especially in a PPR league. So I'm going to go with Tony Pollard. He's a good guy to have on the bench, especially if Zeke gets hurt, anything happens to Zeke, Tony Pollard automatically comes into that top tier role, and I think he's going to get production regardless. So if that was to happen, you're sitting on a gold mine there. So definitely like Tony Pollard. So we're going to go look here. And let's continue getting some depth on our bench. We're in the 9th round. Oh wait, let's go for another. Let's go for another running back, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Melvin Gordon. So obviously everyone is on Javonte Williams, which, if you haven't seen a Denver Bronco game with him playing, that guy will carry 6 guys on his back for 15, 20 yards. So that guy's a beast. But Melvin Gordon has come out and said that he's going to compete and want to be the RB1 for the Denver Broncos. I expect it to be a split, but Melvin Gordon is good. And, you know, Russell Wilson makes everyone on this team better. So I really like the outlook for Melvin Gordon. This is probably going to be, if I had to guess, this might be one of his last seasons, unless they go pretty far. I could see Melvin Gordon hanging him up after this season. So back to us. We're in the 10th round. Let's check out some tight ends that we have here. A lot of people like Cole Kmet, but I honestly don't buy into the hype. He had the opportunity last season to be that guy, and he was not, you know. And what makes anyone think that, you know, this year's going to be different? So I'm going to stay away from tight end. I'm going to wait. Try to grab a dart throw. We got Christian Watson, which, who knows? He might be able to step up right away for the Green Bay Packers and make an impact and, you know, be a good wide receiver too. I think Allen Lazard is going to be the guy for the Packers. But I think Christian Watson also has the same opportunity. You know, nothing's given to anybody, and if camp and he stands out and he makes an impact, he might be the guy right off rip. So I don't mind that pickup there. So we got one bench spot left in tight end. So I'm gonna see what running backs we got available, and we have a sleeper that I really like. A lot of people, I'd assume, as people get to drafting, you know, towards the end of August, this guy's going to be going a lot earlier, I believe. But I like Rashad White. Rashad White, he has an opportunity that, you know, with Leonard Fournette, I don't see him being a 3-down back right off rip. You know, he came into camp and he was overweight, and I think he's going to be a guy that they're going to try to stay healthy through the beginning of the season and pull him out maybe towards the middle to the end, and the roles might change. But I think Rashad White has a great opportunity with the Buccaneers. Obviously, he has the GOAT, Tom Brady, throwing him the ball, or handing him the ball rather, but probably throwing the ball too. So I like the outlook for him, and getting him this late, I don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. So now we just got a couple positions to fill. We got quarterback, tight end, and defense. Some people may disagree with waiting this long to go for a tight end or even a quarterback, but you know, I feel like there's a lot of coin flips when it comes to the tight end position. You got the handful of guys like Travis Kelce and Waller, you know, that you can really count on. Hawkinson, I think, could have a bounce back year because he didn't outplay his draft pick last season. So let's look here. We got Matt Ryan, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. To see the upside of Justin Fields with the running ability, it's very appealing. But I think we're just gonna wait here. Let's just go for a tight end. We got Noah Fant on Seattle. Not really buying into that, but who I do like this season and is a sleeper pick is Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett is on the Chargers now. Jared Cook is not on the team no more, and Jared Cook was a great fantasy player. He did disappear, you know, a couple weeks at a time, but he did have monster games, and I think Gerald Everett is more versatile and has a little more explosiveness than Jared Cook does. Jared Cook is just like a big dude. Gerald Everett has the speed and power, you know, so I really like the outlook for Gerald Everett. on the Chargers. So now we need to draft our quarterback, and we have Matt Ryan. That's who I'm most likely going to roll with, but let's see our other options. Jameis Winston, Mac Jones. I'm going to reference our rankings, which are going to be available July 31st at lineemupfantasy.com. They're going to be free. This is a great example. You know, you look at all these guys and it's kind of a coin flip. So let's reference the rankings and see what the rankings say. You can't see them, but I can. They're going to be available July 31st, so be sure to check those out. So we're looking, and we got Matt Ryan, Jameis Winston, Mac Jones. Those guys are all 1, 2, and 3. I think we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go with Matt Ryan here. We do have Mac Jones ranked higher, but I'm gonna go against the rankings. I just like that Matt Ryan is gonna definitely be throwing the ball. Mac Jones, you know, he was decent in fantasy last season, but I think there was a game last season, I'm pretty sure, that he didn't throw at all, you know, and that's the thing with Bill Belichick, that he will run the ball down your throat. He does not care. So I definitely like Matt Ryan. So we got our defenses here. We got the Saints, we got New England, Colts, Steelers. I'm just gonna go with New England. New England has been a relevant fantasy defense every single year. They're getting multiple interceptions and putting up, you know, 25, 30-point games as a defense. So I don't mind that at all. And that's gonna do it for us. I honestly, I don't mind this team. We got a lot of good players. You know, our wide receivers, there's, you know, potential for them to be the one. You know, Mooney, wide receiver 1. Marquise Hollywood Brown, with Hopkins not in the lineup, probably wide receiver 1. Michael Pittman, wide receiver 1. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 1. Really like that. Same with our running backs, Aaron Jones and James Conner, both the RB1s for their team. So I don't mind this team. And honestly, look at Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, there's a good chance that he becomes a valuable piece for the Kansas City Chiefs and is relevant next season. But that's going to do it for us. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with our latest videos. So, till next time, line them up!